Welcome to the Signals Room. Today, I want to talk about why exaggeration captures us. This is what the Tinbergen's plaster egg teaches us about modern life. You may have heard the phrase, if something feels too good to be true, it probably is. But what if the real danger isn't deception? What if the real danger is exaggeration? A few decades ago, a scientist named Nicholas Tinbergen made a discovery that still feels surprisingly relevant today. He found that birds would sometimes ignore their own eggs and choose a fake egg instead. Not because the fake egg was real, obviously, but because it was bigger, brighter, more noticeable, more stimulating. The birds weren't making a conscious choice. Their instincts were simply responding to the strongest signal in front of them. And once I learned this story, I couldn't stop wondering, are humans doing the same thing? The plaster egg isn't really about birds. It's about attention. It's about attraction. And it's about the things that are louder, brighter, sweeter, faster, and more dramatic that often pull us away from the things that actually do matter. The interesting thing about modern life is that very few of us are being chased by predators. Most of us aren't facing physical danger, yet many feel exhausted, distracted, overwhelmed, unable to focus, constantly stimulated. And I sometimes wonder if part of the reason is that we've surrounded ourselves with plaster eggs. Not literal ones, obviously, digital ones, emotional ones, nutritional ones, even social ones. Everything has been optimized to grab attention. Food is engineered to be more intense. Media is engineered to be more dramatic. Notifications are engineered to interrupt. Even opinions are engineered to provoke. The strongest signal wins, whether it's the most helpful signal or not. And here's the uncomfortable part. And most of us know this. And yet we still get pulled in. Because intelligence doesn't necessarily protect us. The birds weren't stupid. Their instincts were simply responding exactly as they were designed to respond. Sometimes I think the question isn't, why am I distracted? The better question might be, what has become exaggerated in my environment? Because once something becomes exaggerated enough, it begins to distort our perception of what normal looks like. I write a lot about signals beneath the surface, and health is a signal story. The body isn't constantly trying to communicate. Actually, the body is trying to constantly communicate, but subtle signals are easy to miss when louder signals dominate our attention. Sleep, recovery, stress, movement, food quality, connection. These things tend to whisper, and the modern world tends to shout. And shouting almost always wins, at least in the short term. Tinbergen's birds taught us something fascinating. Given the choice between what is natural and what is exaggerated, we often choose exaggeration. Not because it's better, because it's louder. Maybe one of the most valuable questions that we can ask ourselves isn't, what should I add? Maybe it's, what has become so exaggerated that it's pulling me away from what actually matters. because sometimes the path forward isn't finding a better signal. It's learning to notice the ones that have been there all along. Thanks for joining me today in the Signals Room.